Hey, I'm Trudy. I'm 70 years old. I'm a retired educator. I'm still doing a little bit of tutoring. I ended up at the gym a few years ago, and it's changed my life. About 8 years ago, I ended up with an infection that laid me really low. It was a sepsis, and I was in the hospital for almost 3 full weeks. So it really threw everybody for a loop. Especially me. I was the one who was on my back. I have 3 weeks of my life I don't remember. I was in and out of consciousness. I was on such a cocktail of antibiotics and other meds that we really don't know, what worked and what didn't work. But I did end up having an anaphylactic reaction to something, and ended up with heart stoppage, and they had to paddle me and give me some epinephrine and get me going again, and it was a tough time in my life. So after 3 weeks in the hospital, they sent me home. I was extremely weak. It was all I could do to get from the bed to the bathroom and back to the bed again. I started on a very small program of just working my way up so that I could get around the house and function again. So over the course of a few weeks, I kept increasing the amount of just walking around that I did, so that I could actually get back to functioning sort of in a normal way. I was working my way back to going back to work. It took me about 4 months before I was able to go back to work, and even then I was weak enough that I couldn't do full days to start with. So I sort of went back on a graduated back to work program, and within 6 months I was back at work, but I still was exhausted all the time and certainly wasn't back at the kind of activity levels that I'd had before. So I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that I had done before. My gardening suffered, housework suffered. Things like that I normally took for granted took a lot more out of me than it had in the past. But a few years after that, of just kind of barely, getting through and being really tired most of the time, my arm was twisted to take part in a study that my son and his grad student were doing. And so he really twisted my arm to get me into the gym. I hated the gym. When I was a kid, I just disliked anything that had to do with any sports that involved rackets or balls or bats or anything that made me feel like that was a gym activity. But when I got into doing strength training at the gym, I discovered that I really enjoyed it. We did a lot of things that I'd never done before, and some of them were really difficult. I found that it took me a while to figure out what the instructors wanted and what I needed to do in order to get better and follow their instructions and whatnot. But after the study was finished, I realized that I was really looking forward to our time at the gym. And I also realized that even though I don't think I'm very competitive, I kind of was, because when they did the final results, I wanted my results to be better than my initial ones were. So that has carried over since then into I want to do better, I want to get stronger, I want to keep doing the things I'm doing so I can stay stronger for a long period of time.